These are my new designs to replace my old breadboard power supply that has served me well in the past. The small power supplies are portable and work so easy with 3 separate regulated voltage outputs that they have now also replaced my big heavy immobile lab power supply. I tested and updated all designs for 3 years now, and they work perfect indoors, in the lab, and outdoors on the job. Instead of one replacement, I ended up designing 5 types, increasing in amps and display info that I will show in this video. This is the Type 1 5V USB in, 5 to 28 volt XVR out. Then we have the 5V out and the 3.3 volt out and the ground. It is a 2 amps DC to DC based regulator, and it has a voltage display for the XVR out. Connected to a laptop or to a power bank, and like this. And then we can have adjust the voltage for the XVR, and we can go up, and we can go down with the trim, and like this we can go up all the way to 28 volts, and this is down. I have outputs here on the right side that fits 0.6 millimeter wires, and we can also connect it to USB, but then on a phone charger with micro USB, and then in the top there's a micro USB connector, and that also works. And that's the Type 1. This is the Type 2 LabPowersupplie. It has a USB in that can withstand 4 to 13 volt in. It has 1 to 30 volt out XVR 2 amps. It has 5 volt out 1 amp and 3.3 volts 1 amp. And we can also connect it to the laptop or power supply with the Type A plug. We can also remove this one and connect micro USB. That's on this side. And then there is also a Type C USB inlet. The display works like this. We see here a 5 volt input, a 3.3 volt regulated output that's going over here, and the 5 volt is going over there, and the XVR is not enabled because there are 3 buttons over here. The first one is the on off, and then the on LED will light, and then the XVR out is enabled. We can see how many volts and amps there are. We can switch it to the volts in. We can see 4.91 volts in and the amps in. We can switch to the output also here, and we can use these buttons to put a wire inside and to clamp. And then we have an output via USB 5 volts regulated for some appliance that you have to give power to, and that's the whole idea. With constant voltage we can turn this around and we can see that the voltage is going up and it is going down like this, and when we turn on this constant current it would switch to constant current. I can set the current now for whatever I need, up to 2 amps. And now it will stay on amps. When I'm going up with the voltage, now it is a constant voltage regulator. This is the Type 3 LabPowersupplie. It has a voltage in of 5 to 38 volt, a voltage out from 1.2 volts to 36 volts XVR. It has a power on switch. The voltage can be supplied with a plug or with wires, and we can switch it on. Then we can see here the V out is 8 volt. We can go up, we can go down. I can switch with the select button to the V in voltage, and now I can see the V in voltage. I can see the LEDs that V max is 14.1 volt, it's going there. V out is for the XVR is now 7.5 volt. XVR, the 5 volt regulated is also always 5 volt, and then the ground. We can connect breadboard wires, and we can connect probes on the top, and that's it. This is the type 4 with 5 to 38 volt input. It has 5 volt output per probe. It has DC plug input, and then we can see the voltage and we can see the amps. The voltage out can be regulated with up and the other way around with down. It can go from 0.4 to 30 volt XVR out, and here we can see the connections with breadboard wires for ground, 5 volt regulated XVR and V max, and we can see with the LEDs also in what state they are, because when I'm going down to 4.8 volt all the way to 2.1, 1.7, now the orange LED is dimming, and until I have 0.8 volt, and now it is hardly on. That's the type 4. This is my type 5. It has 55 volts input with DC plug. It has a 10 amp fuse, but it has 5 amps per probe. It has output to until 50 volt XVR. It has 5 volt regulated, also 5 amps, and V max is also 5 amps. It can be used with these kinds of probes, or whatever probes you want to connect in here, but it has also dual outlets for breadboard. The user interface is a color display. It has voltage, amps and watts. The V in is on the bottom. It has a V set that I can use on this way, and then I can go to the decimals or the whole voltage. I can turn on this and switch it lower or higher, whatever I want. Then with this button I can power it on, that the XVR is now supplied, and then I can go up or I can go down with the voltage, and then I will see the amps and the watts in real time. The unit has a manual on the top with all functions. It has LEDs on the side that indicates how many power is supplied. So 5 volt regulator is always on. The V max depends on how many volts you have supplied, and the XVR is as much as you have selected. So when I'm going down here, you can see the orange LED going up, or it's going down. So this is all real time. To visualize the differences why I made 5 power supplies instead of 1 is shown in this comparison table. Next time I will show you my speed controlled power mini drill and flow tap 0.6 mm to 6 mm, especially for 3D printing and small model hand work.